Astonishment, admiration, and deep contemplation are the emotions I felt after researching and exploring more than 100 Black celebrities involved in love stories that stepped right out of the screen. Hello everyone, we are our Memory Vault, and this is the video 19 Black celebrities who married their co-stars. This will greatly influence our perspective on love amidst the glamour, and it might even leave you shocked. This video is perfect to play while you are resting, having a meal with your family, or doing housework. All the information in this video has been researched and gathered from multiple sources by our team. If there are any mistakes, please leave a comment below to help our channel grow. Please subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and turn on the notification bell to receive updates on our earliest videos. Now, let's dive right into our first couple. Will Smith and Jada Pinkett. The fateful encounter between two top Hollywood stars, Will Smith and Jada Pinkett, began with an interesting missed audition in the early 1990s. At that time, young Jada Pinkett brought all her ambitions to audition for the role of Will's girlfriend in the legendary TV show The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Ironically, she did not land her dream role simply because her height did not match the male lead. However, the magic of destiny lay in the fact that her sheer indifference to Will Smith's towering fame at that time became the magnetic pull that attracted him immensely. The pride, sharp personality, confidence, and profound depth radiating from Jada made the actor realize immediately that she was not just a passing shadow in his life, like many other actresses, but truly the woman he wanted to spend the rest of his life with. Their love did not ignite like a fleeting, impulsive flame of youth. Rather, it was nurtured and cherished through long conversations that lasted late into the night. There, two kindred spirits found each other amidst the tempting, glamorous city, creating an incredibly solid foundation of connection right from the very first days of knowing each other. Their marital journey, spanning several decades, has not been paved with roses like in romantic movies, but in reality, it has been full of ups and downs and dark corners that perhaps only insiders can fully understand. In a glamorous Hollywood where marriages often bloom and wither quickly due to the traps of fame, the bond between Will and Jada has had to endure countless severe tests of time, public pressure, and even deep internal fractures within the family. The climax was the shocking media storms when they publicly revealed their deepest personal issues, leaving the world astounded. However, instead of letting go of each other's hands, as many other stars do when facing a crisis, they bravely chose to face the harsh truth together. They picked up the broken pieces, learned to forgive mistakes, and continued to walk side by side. Through this, the couple proves a profound truth. Mature love sometimes does not lie in flawless perfection, but it truly exists in the patience to fix mistakes and the effort to heal emotional wounds so they can move forward together. From the perspective of our Memory Vault, we see and evaluate this as a highly vivid and authentic testament to the complex nature of modern marriage. For our audience members who have passed the halfway mark of their lives and experienced enough of life's bitterness and sweetness, we all deeply understand that just as dishes in a cabinet will inevitably clatter, a decades-long marriage will inevitably face friction. The bond of Will Smith and his wife, despite moments so unsteady they seemed on the verge of collapse, still leaves us with a profoundly deep lesson about boundless tolerance, ultimate empathy, and the relentless effort to protect one's home from the storms of public opinion. Love in the later years of life is no longer about unrealistic sweet words, but about holding hands tightly during hard times and accepting the flaws of your partner to walk together to the end of the road. That is the core value that any one of us, after passing through the passionate years of youth, strives for and cherishes to protect our own little home. Denzel Washington and Pauletta Pearson. The story of cinema legend Denzel Washington and his gentle wife Pauletta Pearson is exactly like a classic romantic movie starting on the set of the television film Wilma in 1977. At that time, Denzel was just an unknown young actor taking his very first hesitant steps in his acting career. Meanwhile, Pauletta was already highly experienced and held a certain position in the hearts of the audience. Their feelings did not ignite passionately at first sight, like love at first sight, but were built up slowly and peacefully through sincere conversations and deep understandings backstage on the busy film set. The care, gentleness, and wisdom of Pauletta captivated the heart of the young actor. Remarkably, Denzel had to persistently propose 3 times before he could get a precious nod from Pauletta, because she was an extremely cautious woman who absolutely did not want to be swept into the illusory vortex of fame and the noise of the showbiz world. Throughout their long journey of over 4 decades, their married life has proven the extraordinary strength of loyalty in a showbiz environment filled with daily temptations. Pauletta has been a solid anchor, a peaceful sanctuary that helps Denzel keep his feet on the ground amidst the blinding halos of fame. She quietly stepped back from the limelight, sacrificing her own artistic ambitions to wholeheartedly care for the family and raise their children into fine adults. In return for that sincere devotion, Denzel Washington has always publicly affirmed to the media that without the silent sacrifice and boundless love of his wife, he would never have been able to build such an illustrious world-renowned career as he has today. Their love is not flaunted on newspaper front pages, nor is it loud with grand vows. Rather, it is expressed through respectful gazes and tightly held hands full of trust every time they walk the red carpet together. From the professional standpoint of our memory vault, we deeply respect and express our absolute admiration for this enduring ironclad marriage. In a modern society where everything happens too quickly and people's hearts change easily, the love of Denzel and Pauletta is truly a soothing love song, reminding our generation of the immortal value of loyalty and patience. For our audience in their 40s and 50s, we all clearly understand that no matter how brilliant a career is, it will eventually fade and fame will wash away with time. But a life partner who is willing to stand behind and quietly nurture the family is truly the most priceless asset. Their marriage is a shining example inspiring us about building a family foundation based on mutual respect, sacrifice, and empathy for the rest of our lives. As enduring as that love is, would you believe that sometimes the peak of fame is the very blade that severs a perfect marriage? The next couple will show you just how high the price of glamour can be. Samuel L. Jackson and LaTanya Richardson. The fateful encounter between veteran actors Samuel L. Jackson and LaTanya Richardson originated from their dreamy and ambitious college years. They held hands through the most impoverished and difficult days of their youth before touching the brilliant pinnacle of their careers. Their love was truly put to the test when both began to step onto the artistic path full of harshness and competition. On film sets, LaTanya was not only an excellent colleague who fully understood the hardships, sweat, and tears of the acting profession, but she was also a resilient life partner, an incredibly courageous woman ready to face all storms to protect her family's happiness and shield the man of her life from the harsh tempests of public opinion. Few people know that the darkest and most challenging period in Samuel's life was when he had to struggle with dangerous temptations and the severe instability and disorientation of his youth. There were times when the actor seemed to slide deeply into the traps of substance abuse and mental breakdown. However, it was the fierce toughness, boundless altruistic love, and sometimes absolute strictness of LaTanya that pulled Samuel out of that dark abyss. She stayed by his side, encouraged him, and even forced him to go to rehab, helping him rebuild his spirit and restart his life from absolute zero. Over 4 decades of close attachment going through countless ups and downs together, the couple has eloquently proven that true love is not just about enjoying wealth and glory at its brightest, but it is about sharing hardships and firmly refusing to ever let go of each other's hands, even in the most desperate and tragic moments of human life. Our memory vault strongly believes that behind the resounding success of a man, there is always the solid shadow of a great woman, and LaTanya is the clearest, most vivid proof of that truth. The valuable lesson drawn from this story is that love does not only exist in sweet words during peaceful times, but it is the immense source of strength that helps people guide each other to conquer the harshest adversities of fate. For middle-aged viewers, those who have experienced many of life's turbulent waves, the story of Samuel and his wife will surely touch the deepest corners of the soul. It evokes memories of silent sacrifices and the tireless companionship of the life partner who stands shoulder to shoulder with us day and night, thereby solidifying a firm belief in an eternal love that defies time and circumstance. Tina Turner and Ike Turner. The fateful relationship between the great music icon Tina Turner and producer Ike Turner began to blossom from a boundless passion for music, from fiery performances on stages, big and small, where the two intertwined like two inseparable halves. Ike Turner was the first to have the discerning eye to discover Tina's innate singing talent and her wildly captivating performance style. From an unknown girl, Ike trained, polished, and guided her step by step to the throne of the world-renowned Queen of Rock and Roll. On television screens and under the shimmering stage lights, they always appeared as one of the most powerful couples in the entertainment industry. At the time, a perfect symbol of brilliant success and limitless artistic elevation, leaving millions of fans in awe and constantly desiring a life like theirs. However, when the glamorous velvet curtain closed, it was also the time when the incredibly dark and devastating psychological corners began to clearly surface in their married life. Behind the radiant smiles in the press was suffocating control, deep hidden fractures, and severe emotional trauma that Tina had to silently endure in tears. The heavy pressure from the massive ego of a man who could not accept his wife shining brighter day by day turned their marriage into a tragic, invisible cage. This relationship contained persistent, irreparable conflicts between dictatorial imposition and love, between career dependence and the burning desire to be free to live true to the dignity of a woman who longed to be fully loved and respected. From our profound analytical perspective and viewpoint, the life story of Tina and Ike provides an incredibly valuable lesson about establishing safe boundaries in love and work. It acts as a wake-up call, reminding all of us that not every glamorous combination on the artistic stage automatically brings a happy family home in real life. Tina Turner's extraordinary courage when she decided to leave everything behind, choosing to decisively step out of the dark shadow of a toxic relationship to start over on her own, is an endless source of inspiration. For older audiences, this message is particularly meaningful. It is never too late to free yourself from suffering, to reclaim the right to live a peaceful, happy life, and to affirm the core value of self-respect and firm independence in the soul of every human being. Viola Davis and Julius Tenen. The accidental yet destined meeting between A-list Oscar-winning actress Viola Davis and veteran actor Julius Tenen on the set of the television series City of Angels was exactly like a miraculous arrangement by the creator. Ironically, before this reunion took place, Viola had often confided to her friends that she sincerely prayed to God to grant her a warm, genuine man who embodied the beautiful traditional values of family. And then, like a miracle manifesting in real life, Julius entered her life bringing not the noise or ostentation of a star, but the solid, calm presence of an experienced man. His timely arrival fully compensated for the empty spaces in Viola's soul, making him a peaceful sanctuary, a sturdy home for her to lean on after tense, exhausting hours on highly competitive film sets. In their current life, they are not only bonded as life partners who share life's sweetness and bitterness in every meal and sleep, but they are also incredibly compatible partners in the professional film industry. Co-founding and running an independent film production company, they have stood side by side on every thorny path, from the glorious moments of stepping onto the stage together to receive the prestigious Golden Oscar statue to the long, exhausting, sleepless nights working together to review and complete an unfinished script. The thorough understanding and absolute respect for each other's abilities, vision, and personality have helped the couple create a rare model marriage in the cinematic capital of Hollywood. Both individuals have the opportunity to shine brilliantly together while always being ready to support each other to reach new, proud heights in their artistic careers. Standing from the contemplative, analytical perspective of our memory vault, we realize that love in adulthood always carries an incredibly deep, mature, and highly practical beauty. The fulfilling marriage of Viola and Julius is an eloquent testament to the truth. When we know how to cherish the core inner values of a person, instead of the glamorous outer shell, love will naturally take deep root and bear sweet, lasting fruit. This is truly an incredibly positive and warm source of energy, sending a profound message to those who have carried many emotional wounds. True happiness always exists in this world. It does not discriminate by age or past, as long as we are patient enough to open our hearts and sincerely wait for the best arrangement fate has in store for us. Peace can soothe the soul, but not every love is that tranquil. Coming up next is a classic romance surrounded by suffocating control and darkness, which once left all of Hollywood in shock. Don't look away. James Earl Jones and Cecilia Hart. The fateful meeting between the actor possessing one of the most powerful bass voices in world cinema, James Earl Jones, and the beautiful actress Cecilia Hart took place in a highly academic artistic setting. It was in the late 1960s when both co-starred in the renowned film and stage play The Great White Hope. At that time, James's career was on a brilliant upward trajectory. He carried the intense charisma of a mature, calm, and profound man. Cecilia Hart, with her elegant beauty and refined acting talent, was immediately captivated not only by his outstanding talent, but also by the quiet, scholarly depth of his soul. Their love was not noisy or rushed like fleeting showbiz romances. Rather, it blossomed naturally from the harmony in every heartbeat of their art. They spent hours discussing the characters, analyzing together every psychological corner of the script, and it was from those moments of intellectual communion that the enduring love officially bore fruit between two lonely souls. Throughout their decades-long marital journey, the public always saw the image of Cecilia Hart quietly stepping back behind the scenes, proactively putting a part of her own brilliant career on hold to wholeheartedly nurture their family home. While James Earl Jones's career reached further across the world with classic roles that went down in history, Cecilia became an incredibly solid rear guard, the most peaceful, quiet sanctuary for him to return to after blinding glories. Her silent sacrifice did not carry the meaning of a regretful trade-off, but rather a voluntary choice stemming from boundless love. James always gave his gentle wife absolute respect and gratitude. He fully understood that behind every resounding round of applause from the audience, behind the brilliant halo of prestigious awards, was the diligence, orderliness, and unconditional love that Cecilia had dedicatedly built in their small home. From the profound perspective of our memory vault, we believe that the silent sacrifice of actress Cecilia Hart is one of the most beautiful and honorable symbols of traditional marital duty. In contemporary married life, especially for artists possessing massive egos, having someone voluntarily step back so their partner can rise to the top is an incredibly rare and precious thing. For the generation of audiences who have crossed the age of 50, their love story brings a warm, simple, yet incredibly grand feeling. It truthfully and touchingly reflects the image of wives and mothers who always silently contribute, using the peace of their family as the measure of their own happiness. That is the clearest proof that true love is never measured by material wealth or fame, but is a perfect blend and compensation to walk through a complete human life together. Angela Bassett and Courtney B. Vance. Completely different from the noisy love-at-first-sight stories often seen in entertainment tabloids. The bond between powerful superstar Angela Bassett and actor Courtney B. Vance brings a profoundly deep concept of love, slow and steady. Even though they had known each other since they were enthusiastic students at the prestigious Yale School of Drama. It was many years later, when both had established a solid foothold in their careers, that their feelings truly blossomed. Their relationship did not begin with the fiery, impulsive flames of youth. Instead, it smoldered gently and patiently, weaving its way into each other's lives through the foundation of a pure soulmate friendship. Their maturity in thought and seasoned life experiences helped this couple build an incredibly strong marital relationship based entirely on a foundation of absolute respect, empathy, and complete equality in all aspects of life. When they decided to share a home, both Angela and Courtney were top-tier talented actors in Hollywood, possessing incredibly strong artistic egos and massive fortunes of fame. However, what made their marriage great was their ability to completely leave all the stage halos outside the doorstep to become the most ordinary life partners. In their home, there has absolutely never been any hidden competition, nor does petty jealousy exist regarding each other's resounding successes. Instead, they consider the glory of one to be the immense pride of the other. Even in the most difficult periods, especially their arduous journey to find their children through in vitro fertilization, their unity, patience, and profound, soul-deep understanding help them overcome all adversities, maintaining the warm and brilliant flame of love throughout more than 2 decades of inseparable attachment. Through the meticulous, analytical lens of our memory vault, the fulfilling marriage of Angela and Courtney is truly a perfect testament to the wondrous balance in married life. For audiences in their 40s and 50s, those who have understood all the ways of the world, we all deeply realize that maintaining equality, avoiding imposition, and respecting each other's egos throughout a long journey is incredibly difficult. This powerful couple's love is like a vivid and precious manual on the art of preserving marriage, where yielding the art of sincere communication and understanding from the bottom of the heart are the golden keys unlocking the door to eternal happiness. It reminds us that no matter how brilliant a career is, it cannot replace the tight grip of a life partner's hand in lonely moments, and mature love always knows how to illuminate both souls. Lawrence Fishburne and Gina Torres. The massive set filled with breathtaking action sequences of the blockbuster sci-fi film The Matrix Reloaded not only brought global audiences magnificent eye-catching footage, but it also inadvertently became the fertile ground that nurtured a deep love between veteran actor Lawrence Fishburne and the fierce actress Gina Torres. Gina's powerful, decisive strength on screen seemed to find a perfect reflection, matching every detail with Lawrence's majestic calm and profound demeanor in real life. Between brief moments of rest after physically demanding action scenes, they found an incredible harmony in each other, not only in their acting rhythm, but also in their ideologies, worldviews, and profound life perspectives. Conversations that seemed casual gradually connected 2 independent souls, pulling them closer with a natural, intense attraction that was impossible to resist. Throughout their long time together as husband and wife, Lawrence and Gina worked hard to build a warm, complete family and always appeared radiantly in public with the image of an iconic couple, powerful, intellectual, and full of regal aura. Even though both were incredibly busy with packed filming schedules, they always knew how to set aside the most sacred spaces for each other to nurture their family bond. However, life's paths are many, and due to unavoidable divergent turns in their thinking and future directions, they chose to end their marriage and go their separate ways. But what made the public and the media admire them most was how they treated each other post-divorce. There were absolutely no bitter words, no noisy character assassinations in the press. They walked out of each other's lives with the highest self-respect, keeping absolute respect for each other and sharing the responsibility of raising their child in a highly civilized manner. Our Memory Vault views and evaluates the story of Lawrence Fishburne and Gina Torres through a lens deeply imbued with profound humanistic philosophy. Love sometimes, in the endless flow of time, does not necessarily have to be a permanent binding or possession until the end of one's days. Rather, it is the meaningful years of companionship, the timely presence, to grow together. The way this couple maintained respect and preserved a beautiful image of each other after deciding to part ways is a priceless lesson in maturity and civility in romantic relationships. For older audiences, this message brings a sense of relief and depth. The end of a marriage is not necessarily a tragic failure, but sometimes it is a brave decision to free each other as long as we know how to retain the best memories and treat our former partner with a heart full of tolerance and kindness. Harry Belafonte and Julie Robinson. Meeting through the classic film Island in the Sun, legendary singer-actor Harry Belafonte and his beautiful wife Julie Robinson penned one of the greatest, most romantic, yet also most turbulent and harshly challenged love stories of the 20th century. One must look back at the historical context of America at that time when social prejudices, especially the issue of racial segregation, were still weighing heavily and creating countless cruel divisions within the community. The fact that two people from two different worlds decided to come together, defying all malicious gossip and opposition from many sides, was not simply the union of a burning romantic love. Furthermore, it was truly a silent revolution, a long journey full of blood and tears to stand side by side against invisible barriers and the unjust laws of a highly volatile era. In this historically significant marriage, Julie Robinson never merely circled around the role of a traditional devoted wife. She truly transformed into a resilient, brave warrior, standing shoulder to shoulder with Harry Belafonte in countless marches and tireless struggles for human freedom and equality. She understood to her very core the pressures and dangerous threats her husband had to endure daily from opposing forces. It was Julie's solid backing with her very life that helped Harry stand firm on both fronts, theatrical art and social activism. Their marriage was a beautiful symphony where there was a perfect harmony between noble living ideals for the community and profound romantic love, creating a massive spiritual strength capable of smashing all chains of prejudice. From the perspective of researching human history and culture, our Memory Vault considers this epic love story like a silent, heroic saga that will echo for thousands of generations to come. For the generation of viewers who have lived through many of the era's ups and downs, those who have witnessed the changes in society over decades, the story of the Belafontes will surely evoke deep nostalgia for a difficult period filled with a spirit of selfless dedication. Their love carries a grand layer of meaning. It does not only radiate warmth to protect a small family against the storms, but it also strongly spreads the resilient flame of struggle for a fairer, more compassionate world for future generations. That is the highest symbol of a love that transcends personal calculations, becoming an immortal source of inspiration for all humanity. Cicely Tyson and Miles Davis. The destined union between the legendary cinema actress possessing sharp beauty, Cicely Tyson, and the genius master of world jazz music, Miles Davis, is likened to a musical concerto full of passion and fervor, yet also containing countless agonizing low notes. Both were great artistic souls, carrying within them a burning fire of creativity and a massive artistic ego that refused to submit to any mold. When these two enormous explosive energies accidentally collided on the path of life, it immediately created a fierce attraction and understanding of artistic thinking at a masterful level that rare couples in the world are lucky enough to touch. Cicely saw in Miles a wild soul that needed soothing, while Miles found in his muse an endless source of inspiration to write immortal melodies that went down in music history. However, the married life behind the brilliant halos of geniuses rarely passes in the serene, calm manner of ordinary couples. They constantly had to face terrifying pressures from peak fame, the surrounding temptations of substances, and the severely unbalanced, deeply depressed moments of the artist's psyche. Despite their shared life having countless dark corners and explosive arguments, Cicely Tyson always gave her talented husband a profound forgiveness, patience, and monumental tolerance. She was like a singular peaceful harbor, using her pure love to help Miles balance himself, pulling him back after the self-destructive storms of his own life. Their bond was so deep, intense, and redemptive that it shattered all conventional boundaries to become a profoundly spiritual relationship. Our Memory Vault possesses a fierce belief that love blooming between great artists always wears a highly isolated color. It is intense, complex, full of contradictions, yet equally haunting and beautiful. The highly dramatic story of Cicely and Miles brings an incredibly authentic and sharp message to the audience. When you decide to give your heart to someone with a soul that is too free and soaring, profound understanding and bottomless tolerance are the only anchors keeping the relationship from sinking in the storm. Even if their ending experienced many tragic events and they did not reach the end of the road, the genuine feelings and extreme sacrifices they once completely devoted to each other will forever remain a beautiful mark, a vivid testament to the redemptive power of love in human art history. Sterling K. Brown and Ryan Michelle Bathe. The beautiful romance of Sterling K. Brown and Ryan Michelle Bathe is a real-life romantic novel written from their ambitious youth in the lecture halls of the prestigious Stanford University. Unlike the fleeting romances often seen in the entertainment world, the foundation of their bond was built from an incredibly pure soulmate friendship. In those days, both were young college students carrying a burning passion for the art of acting. They practiced scripts together and went through the initial difficulties and clumsiness of stepping into the profession together. Their time as friends helped them thoroughly understand every strength and weakness, every dream, and even the most secret fears of each other. When their friendship matured and transformed into love, it carried a massive, incredibly solid strength, not easily shaken by any external influences. The married life of Sterling and Ryan is a perfect testament to rhythm and harmony both on set and in daily life. Even though they operate in a highly competitive artistic environment, and especially when Sterling skyrocketed to become an A-list star with the hit TV series This Is Us, jealousy or the shadow of insecurity has never existed between them. Ryan never allows herself to be overshadowed or become the shadow behind her husband's brilliant success. She always confidently asserts her own talent while simultaneously becoming a solid rear guard, a reliable artistic advisor helping Sterling continuously elevate his career. The two even had the opportunity to reunite on screen through projects like Army Wives, where their natural and genuine chemistry left audiences in admiration. Respecting personal space and always encouraging each other's growth is the secret that keeps the flame of their love burning bright. From the in-depth analytical perspective of our memory vault, the rare sustainability in the marriage of Sterling and Ryan comes from a very simple yet profoundly deep philosophy. Treat your life partner as your greatest soulmate. For the middle-aged demographic, when the fervor of youth gradually gives way to tranquility, having a companion who understands every frown and every sigh is priceless. The story of this couple brings a highly positive message, affirming that a love seeded from sincere friendship will have roots that dig deep into the earth, strong enough to grow into an ancient tree, casting cooling shade, protecting the family home through all the storms of time and years. Ruby Dee and Ossie Davis. In the entire turbulent history of the Hollywood cinema capital, it would perhaps be incredibly difficult to find any couple who possessed a bond as deep, comprehensive, and historically monumental as Ruby Dee and Ossie Davis. Destiny brought them together on the theatrical stage through the play Jeb in 1946, and later to shine brilliantly in Purlie Victorious. From the very moment their eyes met under the stage lights, they recognized a fierce harmony, not only in artistic thinking, but also in noble life ideals. Their love was not simply confined within the four walls of a small house. It quickly reached beyond the borders of personal affection, blending into the surging flow of history to become an immortal symbol of the resilience and courage of an entire community. Throughout their journey of over half a century, living together in tight-knit devotion, Ruby and Ossie accomplished extraordinary things that few artistic couples dare to dream of. They did not only stand together on countless large and small stages, leaving classic roles for posterity, but they also proudly stood at the forefront of historic marches demanding equality. They were close friends and loyal comrades who stood side by side with great civil rights leaders like Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X. Their home was not just a family nest, but a sanctuary, a safe haven for countless social activists of that era. Ossie once proudly shared that it was the strong presence and sharp intellect of Ruby by his side that not only helped him emotionally mature as a human being, but also sharpened his life ideals, making them firmer in the face of all the storms of the times. We, the creators of the Our Memory Vault channel, always bow our heads in respect whenever we mention the legacy that Ruby Dee and Ossie Davis left for future generations. For older audiences, those who have lived through historically turbulent periods, the story of this couple is not just a romantic tale, but a priceless lesson in human character. It eloquently proves that married life is not just about daily worries of food and clothing, but on a higher level, it is an absolute harmony of ideals for dedication. A truly happy marriage reaching a monumental stature is when two people can look together in the same direction. use their love as a guiding torch, and hold hands to make the world around them more humane and beautiful. Nicole Ari Parker and Boris Kodjoe, starting a dreamlike love story from the set of the famous television series Soul Food in 2000. Nicole Ari Parker and Boris Kodjoe quickly captured the hearts of millions of viewers and were dubbed the most perfect golden couple in the public eye. On screen, they transformed into lovers with explosive, fiery chemistry. However far from the usual noise, their real-life love bore fruit in an incredibly simple, slow, and highly respectful manner. Overcoming gossip and strict prejudices about the fleeting romances of a showbiz world fraught with scandal, they came to each other with absolute sincerity, building a solid emotional foundation based on respecting core family values instead of being blinded by the dazzling halos of fame. For more than 2 decades, holding hands through the ups and downs of life, Nicole and Boris have faced and overcome countless harsh challenges destined by fate, including the massive emotional shock when their firstborn daughter was diagnosed with congenital spina bifida. Instead of collapsing or blaming each other as many other couples do when facing a crisis, this tragedy bound them tighter together than ever before. They proactively put aside a portion of their blooming careers, stepping away from the lavish parties of Hollywood to wholeheartedly care for their child, establishing charitable foundations and bringing hope to families in similar situations. Boris Kodjoe never ceases to praise his devoted wife, cherishing her sacred position as an extraordinary mother, a great wife who used her gentleness and resilience to bring absolute peace to his life. From the profound observational perspective of our memory vault, we see the marriage of Nicole and Boris as a pure, refreshing breeze, dispelling the ingrained prejudice that entertainment stars can hardly maintain long-term family happiness. The message they convey touches the very core of the hearts of viewers in their 40s and 50s behind the glamorous shell of wealth and fame. What humans desire most is always a warm family meal filled with laughter, a warm hand holding theirs tightly during the stormiest nights of life. Their love stands the test of time because it is constantly watered by silent sacrifice, tolerance, and the appreciation they have for each other in every breath of daily life. Lena Horne and Harold Nicholas. The combination of the gorgeous, elegant vocalist Lena Horne and the master prodigy of tap dancing Harold Nicholas once painted an incredibly brilliant, passionate, artistic picture during Hollywood's golden age. When they crossed paths and worked together in the hit musical projects of the 1940s, the outstanding talent and grace radiating from each other quickly created an invisible magnetic pull, drawing the two artistic souls closer together. On the silver screen, they were a symbol of artistic elevation, bringing the public peak performances that captivated countless eyes. The feelings they had for each other in those brilliant days of youth were incredibly genuine, intense, and full of longing for complete romantic happiness amidst a world full of temptations and traps. However, the greatest tragedy of their lives was being born in the wrong era. The context of America in the mid-20th century was a dark canvas surrounded by countless cruel barriers, unwritten rules, and deep racial segregation. Their love was not allowed to blossom freely, but had to endure terrifying pressure from media moguls, slave contracts from major film studios, and the invisible prejudices of a strict society. Maintaining a public relationship between two famous black artists at the time was considered a threat to the commercial image that the Hollywood establishment was trying hard to build. Under that suffocating pressure, where they could barely breathe, the beautiful romance of Lena and Harold had to sadly remain unfinished, leaving deep wounds in the hearts of those involved and an endless regret spanning their later years. When our Memory Vault channel reflects on this unfinished love story, we cannot help but feel a profound sense of melancholy and heartache. For audiences who have lived through the many ups and downs and changes of the times, the sacrifices and losses of the past are always costly, unforgettable historical lessons. The story of Lena Horne and Harold Nicholas is a heartbreaking proof showing that sometimes sincere love alone is not enough to keep a vow, but it also requires the consensus of both circumstance and era. Yet that unfulfilled romance is great, because it truthfully and starkly reflects the harshest dark corners of life. back then, thereby awakening us to appreciate and protect the sacred freedom of love that modern civilized society now enjoys. Diahan Carroll and Vic Damone. When two illustrious superstars, two monuments of the entertainment industry, cross paths, the flame of love that ignites often carries an intense, passionate power, but is equally fierce, burning everything in its path. The fateful meeting between the regal beauty Diahan Carroll and the romantic vocalist Vic Damone was a massive explosion of emotion. This combination was a fiery collision between two enormous artistic egos, two strong personalities entirely accustomed to standing at the center stage, receiving endless applause from millions of fans. The first years of their marriage were overflowing with lavish romance, the ultimate elevation of two artistically kindred spirits, making all of Hollywood envious and admiring of an all-too-perfect couple. However, the harsh reality of life quickly proved that maintaining a peaceful home when both husband and wife are standing at the pinnacle of power and fame is an incredibly difficult problem that requires extraordinary endurance. The heavy pressure from public scrutiny, exhausting touring schedules that drained both body and spirit, and especially the fierce clashes between two egos, where neither would yield, gradually eroded the foundation of their relationship. When the stage lights are too blinding, they easily obscure the understanding and tolerance needed in married life. Their marriage, though incredibly explosive, was as brief as a shooting star crossing the night sky. Nevertheless, the time they truly belonged to each other still left indelible cultural marks in the public's mind, becoming a legendary story of the entertainment world. Analyzing from the perspective of marital psychology, our memory vault believes that balance and the art of compromise are the vital elements to preserve any marriage. Fame and a brilliant career can be a great source of pride, but if one does not know how to control their personal ego, it will become the spark that burns down the entire peace of the family. The highly dramatic story of Diahan Carroll and Vic Damone provides a deeply contemplative perspective, giving mature audiences a chance to reflect on the value of humility. It reminds us that the pinnacle of love sometimes does not lie in who shines brighter than whom, but in the art of self-restraint, being willing to step back to protect and preserve the sacred family home together. Michael Jai White and Jillian Ileana Waters. Action and martial arts cinema often gives viewers an incredibly strong, dry feeling full of gritty combat scenes. Yet it is wonderfully miraculous when that very harsh, sweat-filled working environment becomes a solid bridge for an incredibly romantic and enduring love. Muscular actor Michael Jai White and beautiful actress Jillian Ileana Waters were already close soulmates, bonded tightly long before destiny arranged for them to realize the other was the true love of their life. Their love absolutely did not stem from the impulsive, reckless flutters of youth, but was distilled perfectly from long years of understanding, accompanying and sharing every weakness, strength, and past emotional wound of each other. This emotional maturity helped them build a marital foundation as solid as bedrock. The incredibly interesting and unique point about this couple is that after officially moving in together, they did not separate work and life at all. On the contrary, they constantly support and lift each other up to shine on the path of martial arts art. They continuously collaborate, co-starring in many large-scale action film projects, creating a wonderful resonance in terms of physical ability, combat skills, and mental strength. Being able to completely trust and stand by a life partner in dangerous action scenes that demand absolute precision not only requires high expertise, but it also proves a deeply spiritual bond and unconditional trust in the very life of the partner. On set, they are brave warriors, but when returning home, they are a peaceful haven, soothing all fatigue for one another. From our evaluative perspective, a love originating from deep friendship that has passed the test of time always carries within it an astonishing solidity. For middle-aged audiences, those who have grown too tired of the swift changes of life, this message truly brings an overflowing source of inspiration. How wonderful and meaningful life becomes when the person sharing your blanket every night is also your greatest soulmate, the one ready to share every burning passion and personal interest and always standing strong to protect you from all the storms and gossip of a life full of unpredictable fluctuations. Trey Byers and Grace Geely, amidst a film set filled with sinister plots, fierce power struggles, and countless dramatic, breathtaking details of the TV blockbuster empire, Trey Byers and Grace Geely luckily found an oasis of absolute peace in each other's hearts. While the characters they played on screen were always drowning in whirlpools of hatred and calculation, the couple's real-life love developed in a quiet, serene, and incredibly private manner. They were very wise in deciding not to bring the noise and scandals of the screen into real life, completely separating their sacred relationship from curious camera flashes and the intrusive scrutiny of the media. This careful choice proves they deeply understand the fragility of showbiz relationships, thereby cherishing and determining to protect the seed of their love even more. To affirm their vows of commitment, their wedding was held in an incredibly private, cozy manner on a romantic island in Grand Cayman, completely absent of media and far away from all the noise and vanity of Hollywood. That was a powerful declaration through action for the viewpoint. True happiness is something for two souls to feel and nurture, absolutely not a piece of jewelry to show off and boast for the world to admire. Since getting married, the couple has always maintained a peaceful pace of life, prioritizing the care of their family, strengthening their religious faith, and developing the depth of their souls, instead of busily chasing the hustle and fame-seeking of the glamorous entertainment world. They are content with what they have, finding greatness in the smallest, simplest things of married life. The Our Memory Vault channel expresses deep agreement and admiration for this highly intellectual life philosophy. At an age where peace of mind is considered the highest measure of success and happiness, the way Trey and Grace steadfastly protect their private space is a priceless lesson for all of us. In an era where people easily expose everything on social media, sometimes knowing how to keep the most sacred, precious things hidden from the curious eyes of the outside world is the most effective method to nurture a long-lasting love, avoiding all storms and keeping happiness strong forever. Keshia Knight Pulliam and Brad James. An encounter resembling the arrangement of destiny on the set of the television film Pride and Prejudice Atlanta opened a brilliant new chapter, leading former famous child star Keshia Knight Pulliam to a peaceful harbor named Brad James. They met when both had moved past the storms, brokenness, and painful lessons of the past. They carried within them the calmness, depth, and mature wisdom of experienced individuals who had tasted all the bitterness and sweetness of life. Their feelings did not blossom through empty flirting. Rather, they gradually took root through deep, empathetic conversations about scripts, life philosophies, and dreams and plans to build a stable, peaceful future. This harmony and perception helped them quickly erase all distances to draw closer to one another. The love of Keshia and Brad does not carry a brilliant, blinding color that overwhelms people. Instead, it brings a feeling of absolute warmth and safety, like a small, enduring fire warming up a cold winter night. They found in each other not only a harmony in their souls, but also a mutual respect and admiration for each other's talents in their work. Their wedding took place simply sacredly and cozily, right during the difficult pandemic period, marking a new beginning full of faith and hope. Brad is not only a caring husband, but he also proved the character of a mature man when he stepped into Keshia's life, loving and protecting her and her child as his own flesh and blood, giving her a firm belief in a true and eternal love. We are deeply pleased and moved when mentioning this story because it sends a very powerful and humanistic message. True love can knock on your heart's door at any moment in life, as long as we never allow ourselves to stop hoping and keep our hearts wide open. For the middle-aged demographic, the story of Keshia and her husband is a sweet comfort, a firm affirmation that after the storms that knock you down, after times the heart bleeds from trauma, every person in this world absolutely deserves to have a second peaceful harbor. Their sincere love will be the magical medicine that soothes and heals all the scars of the past, bringing people back to the shores of tranquility. Sally Richardson and Dondre Whitfield. Closing our emotional list today is one of the couples possessing the longest, most enduring, and admirable marriages in Hollywood female director and actress Sally Richardson and talented actor Dondre Whitfield. Both are veteran faces incredibly familiar and loved on American television since the 1990s. Starting their relationship from a pure, sincere friendship, they gave each other a period long enough and deep enough to understand every corner of their souls before officially entering a married life full of responsibility. They did not rush after fleeting emotions, but used reason combined with their hearts to build a solid family foundation that could not be knocked down by the vain temptations of the surrounding entertainment world. Over 2 decades of sticking together and accompanying each other, they have jointly built a traditional, orderly family where moral values, kindness, and love are placed above all else amidst a modern society full of hustle and temptation. The secret to keeping their love alive is incredibly simple, but extremely effective. It is the limitless respect for the life partner, absolute ironclad loyalty, and especially never forgetting to give each other romantic, affectionate gestures, even though their appearances have been marked by the traces of time. While Sally increasingly elevates and asserts her power in the role of directing blockbuster TV series, Dondre has become an active community advocate. Although their careers developed in different directions, they always hold hands, tightly aging together and mutually understanding and sharing all the joys, angers, loves, and sorrows of human life. Our memory vault holds a steadfast belief that this is the most beautiful, most fulfilling ending that any one of us, after passing half of our life, yearns to have. The love of Sally and Dondre carries the full flavor of a jar of precious wine. The longer it is aged, the more intoxicating and passionate the flavor becomes. Their lives have powerfully proven that marriage is absolutely not the grave-burying love as many mistakenly believe, but in essence, it is a Garden of Eden that requires patience, care, and watering with love every single day. An enduring love that passes through all the storms of time is the clearest, most brilliant proof of the greatness, wisdom, and bravery of human beings. As such, we have just looked back together at 19 love stories full of ups and downs with countless emotional ranges, but no less grand and beautiful of top Black Hollywood stars. The profound lessons on tolerance, patience to overcome difficulties, and silent sacrifices for the one you love have surely brought all of us precious humanistic values to calmly reflect on our own lives and life partners. Our memory vault sincerely wishes you will always have incredibly warm, joyful, and meaningful, relaxing moments beside your beloved family. Do not forget to hit the subscribe button, like the video, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our upcoming nostalgic videos containing many valuable lessons. Goodbye, and see you again in our next videos.